Hey, how are you? How's it going? So I'm in a bit of a somber mood right now because, you know me, I'm a sucker for storytelling, and it's Halloween. I figured I'd give you something different for today's episode of the Z List. So I've always been fascinated about the macabre, the occult, and of course, stories that give you, that keep you up at night. And during my drives, trying to test out these vehicles, I can't help but notice a couple of creepy and weird roads that I pass by, only later to find out that these roads actually have a story behind them. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. Not today, tonight. So guys, join me tonight as I traverse the roads right here in Manila and a couple of outskirts here in Manila to check out the scariest, the most thought-provoking and creepiest roads that we have right here in the metro in today's Z List. Okay, so before we begin, if you've noticed, we've got right here the BYD Sealion 5 DMI. I figured that what better car to use in this type of episode than the BYD Sealion 5 DMI. We'll be shooting this in a couple of days, and I just want to go help you and show you my process with testing these cars, and at the same time telling you more stories about the creepiest roads here in the metro. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. We are now in Balleta Drive. I'm starting to think of this as a calculated mistake because it feels so heavy in here. It feels so weird. I mean, there are a lot of cars, sure, but personally speaking, it doesn't feel right. Let me go ahead and try to see if we can turn around. So this is Balete Drive. So we're on the street right now, and this is again me thinking that this is a mistake because, well, this is the infamous Balete Drive. I'm gonna go inside the car. I can tell you the story. Oh man, I think this is a mistake. This place is so damn creepy. Oh my god. Taxi drivers would tell stories about a fair, not an affair, but a fair, where they'd be asked to be sent here, only to find that there's no going to be that their fare, the passenger, is actually going to be a bloodied lady in white. And as I tell this story, I'm scared to look at my rear view mirror because of that, and this street doesn't seem to want to end at all. Doesn't seem to be that scary if you think about it, but that's the story. Some people say that the apparition that shows here is a murder victim crying for justice or help, but that's the story anyway. So number one on our list, Balete Drive. And I gotta say guys, it's creepy as Okay guys, so our next destination isn't gonna be quite as popular as Balete Drive, but it's equally as creepy in my opinion. So we're now heading over to Sumulong Highway. It's a long stretch road going up to Antipolo, and I'll tell you more about it when we get there. Alright guys, so we're here in Sumulong Highway in Antipolo City. The Sumulong Highway was built in the 60s to augment the traffic of people moving up here, because a lot of people are starting to live here in the East Antipolo in the 60s. And to help out with the flow of traffic, they built this road. The problem with the road is that it's very dark. It's a lot of blind curves, lots of twisties, a lot of fast cars moving up, going up and down the mountain. And so you got some motorcycles over there running really fast, but they don't have helmets. So statistically speaking, Sumulong Highway has got one of the biggest or largest body counts when it comes to road accidents in the Philippines. And that's no exaggeration. I mean, checking out the statistics right there, we'll be posting it in the description box below. It's just quite staggering. And as you can see, they've actually put in some lights to mark the lanes on the road, but it helps out just a little bit here. But it seems like as long as people don't have any discipline when they're driving, simply wearing a helmet, checking their cars, that's a dangerous thing to do. Now the creepy part about that is that it's also a recipe for ghost stories here. A couple of stories that we got right here. Some people say that they see some phantom hitchhikers or bloodied hitchhikers right here, and they say that those are the spirits of the people who died on these streets, on these roads. Either they have unfinished business or whatnot. For someone who lived in this area for a long time, I have to say that this is probably one of the creepiest places that you might want to pass by if you're a junkie for those things. So yeah, number 2 on our list, Sumulong Highway. Not as scary as the first item on our list, but still pretty creepy. Okay, so bikers in this area might actually find this pretty familiar because it's a popular running and biking pathway. Now this old road, they call this Daang Hari because this area used to be a railroad for the Philippine National Railway Company, and it terminated up to the Antipolo Church station. There's actually a station right there up in Taktac. It's the penultimate station, and right now it's 2 a.m. It's pretty creepy around here too. Let's get inside a car and I'll tell you what makes it creepy here. So I've been telling you stories about ghosts and spirits, anecdotal stories that I might add because those are unproven, but the thing that's here in Taktac Road, I've heard a couple of stories as well about ghosts, spirits, but something much more sinister supposedly right here. They say that there's been some sightings of aswang or Philippine ghouls here in Taktac. So they'd be transforming into dogs or sometimes bats and the like. So that's pretty scary if you think about it. But my theory is that it might be because of how it looks. It creates some sort of imagination. Now, I do have a personal story about this particular area. My brother actually had told me about his experience right here. So they were on their way up to Antipolo, and they're doing the walk to Antipolo during Holy Week, and they veered off the usual path to the church, and used a shortcut through the jungle, through the forest. And they saw something that they weren't supposed to see, and was just absolutely horrifying when he told me the story. So while they were inside in the forest, they saw a group of people, mind you, people, having some sort of ritual of sorts, and and while they were doing the ritual, in the middle of it there was like a goat man, a goat person, and I'm thinking that they may be followers of that whatever. It seems to look like a cult, actually, a cult doing the ritual during Holy Week. A lot of people in this area do that. So in my opinion, more than ghosts, more than ghouls, it's it's people you should be scared of. For number 3, Taktac Road here in Antipolo. Okay, so it might take a few minutes before we get to our next destination. So in the meantime, I just want to discuss a few things about the car that we're using today. This is the Sealion 5 DMI. There's been a lot of interest with BYD vehicles the past year alone. They've been releasing cars that seem to be striking a nerve in the local car industry. Cars that almost in every segment, you've got sedans with the Seal 5, small hatchbacks with the Seagull. You've got performance cars with the Seal. You got the Seal 5, by the way, for the sedan. I don't know I said that. Then with the compact sedan market people, you've got the Sealion 6 and the Sealion 5. The Sealion 5 definitely fits a nice niche because this is the subcompact crossover SUV that, although it's priced at about 1.2 million pesos for the single variant that we got right here, it pretty much undercuts a lot of its rivals in the market. Now, I've chosen this car to be my Halloween special car because let's just say that I do have to travel a lot, and usually with my testing in my traveling, I use up a lot of gas. And I use up a lot of gas, or if I'm using an electric, I use up a lot of electricity. So the range anxiety on both fronts. The thing with DMI technologies, though, is that you get the best of both worlds. You get the best. You get your EV power, but at the same time, it's charged up by the gasoline range extender, which is very beneficial, in my opinion. It reaches up to 1,100 kilometers in a single charge, in a single tank. That's a win. And one more thing, as you've noticed earlier, we've started our drive with around 40%, 30% in the battery. Right now, after using HEV mode, I now have 71% in the battery, which leads me to think that, do you really need to charge up your vehicle every time you're in the mall if you have a DMI vehicle, if you have a DMI car, knowing that charging ports are very limited, and you might want to give way to full electric cars. Now, it's most likely not, if you're getting a DMI thanks to BYD, you would be installed with a wall charger at home. You could probably charge at home. Are you just using the charging port in the malls, the free charging port in the malls, just to get the free parking space? You might want to think about trying to be more considerate to full EVs. You might never know. A BYD Atto 3 or a Seagull might be needing that extra juice just to get themselves home. When you yourself in a DMI car, again, you get the best of both worlds. You don't have to worry about charging up, range anxiety, and all that. So just a little something to think about. So next up on the list is C6, or Circumferential Road 6. This is the outermost circumferential road around Manila. So So original plans were made back in the 1980s to connect the South Expressway to the North Expressway. So the South will be connected via Taguig, right here, and then north through Rodriguez Rizal, Commonwealth. But apparently it hasn't been built just yet, but that was the original plan. Now C6 has its fair share of ghost stories right here. The most prominent that I've heard is of a phantom tricycle rider. So we got a phantom tricycle rider right here, and we're going to enter the car right now because I'm starting to see some phantom riders myself right around here. So yes, some phantom riders. So apparently one fare rode one of the tricycles here, and once the tricycle driver dropped him off at the reservoir, the dam, he noticed that he can't find the driver or the passenger anymore. He thought that he did a ride and dash situation, but apparently once he checked out the situation, looked everywhere, he found a bloody figure just looking at him outside of the motorcycle. See, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm actually near that particular location, but what I'm most scared about in this place is the lack of light, number of trucks, because this is mainly used by trucks. The reason why C6 is always in repairs because of all the trucks that pass by here. So they bypass EDSA and pass through C6. And it's a pretty scenic, pretty nice location, to be honest. The local government has been doing its best to rehabilitate C6, adding some walking areas, some bike paths, even a park right there. But that doesn't remove the fact that it is pretty creepy. So on to our next location, and let's get our fright on. The next location you're definitely going to be interested in because it involves going fast. Excuse my nappy hair. After wearing that cap, I couldn't get it back to what it's supposed to be. But anyway, we are here in Daang Hari in, is this Cavite? Yeah, Cavite. Where we got a really interesting story right here. So legend tells us, or the internet tells us, that right here there is a phantom car, a ghost car. So basically a black sedan would be speeding and then will be right up behind you and flashing its lights. If you speed away, if you try to speed away, it's just gonna catch up with you and keep flashing its lights. And then if you start giving way, as soon as it starts to overtake you, you'd see nothing. That is creepy. Now, I hope that these urban legends update themselves as well, because we've got the BYD Sealion 5 DMI, and it's got both the power of the electric and the engine. It makes 197 horsepower, around 200 horsepower, and 300 Newton meters of torque. It goes from 0 to 100 in 8.3 seconds. So in case we do encounter the ghost car, I hope it can catch up. To wrap things up, I give you one of the most cursed roads in the Philippines. Not just the Metro, but the Philippines. And that's EDSA. EDSA has been witness see lots of cars. EDSA has been witness to lots of gruesome accidents. A lot. Anyway, gruesome is an understatement right there. But of course, one of the things that really scares me the most is not the spirits, not the ghosts. It's the pockmarked roads. It's the sudden changes in terrain. People without discipline in driving. But yes, without any hyperbole, EDSA's got to be one of the most scariest. Anyway, I hope you like this kind of video. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. It's been Roy Robles from Ziggles.ph. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah, next time.